man, not this guy again.
Normal moves, part 2, not normal. Hello.
Nobody cares!
Alright, so in part 1 we went over about half of the normal type moves, and they were the ones that very much were normal.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 Why?
What are you thinking?
We know!
Tackles, scratches, eating. And in part 2 there are some more of these, but we'll also be going over some moves that may be better off not normal type, and I'll explain why. For example, Odor Sleuth enables a ghost type target to be hit by normal and fighting type attacks. This also enables an evasive target to be hit.
We know!
Do ghosts smell? Never mind. The idea here is that a lot of animals have powerful noses and can track down anything. Trained dogs especially come to mind. But it is such a basic thing, smelling, so it's normal type. But then, the move Foresight. Hindsight might be 20/20, but Foresight is 100% needed if you're fighting a ghost, because it enables a ghost type target to be hit by normal and fighting type attacks. This also enables an evasive target to be hit.
We know!
It's the exact same thing as Odor Sleuth, but it has different flavor.
We know!
Specifically, the last part of its description is the main reason it's called Foresight. Being able to see into the future or have a deep understanding of predicting your opponent's movements. It really helps in hitting them. And in Japanese, the name of the move is Read Thoughts. Really, why isn't it Psychic type? Mind reading and seeing into the future is Psychic 101. And sensing where ghosts are? That also works!
We know!
What the heck? And yet, even in English, there is a move called Mind Reader, and it's also normal type.
We know!
Are they trying to tell us something? Well, let's see what it does. The user senses the target's movements with its mind to ensure its next attack does not miss the target.
We know!
Ah, so it's just lock on. With lock on, the user takes aim at the target. This ensures the next attack does not miss the target.
Stop! Good God, man!
We know!
Boop, destroy turret.
Ah yeah, go get him, champ. Lock on is a typical expression, meaning you're staying on target. Your vision or targeting computer is locked into position, typically in poise to attack. However, you can lock on to just about anything. Lock on to Lockstin. Well, look at me go. So Mind Reader then is just that, but through psychic means. I mean, the move is called Mind's Eye in Japanese. So again, why isn't it psychic type? Lock on I get as normal, but Mind Reader? Huh. And since we're talking about evasiveness, with Minimize, the user compresses its body to make itself look smaller, which sharply raises its evasiveness.
We know!
Now that sounds impossible, like, sit there and try to be smaller. Yeah, all you get is the ball of a human. You're not actually compressed, you're just warped into a new shape.
We know!
But looking at most of the Pokemon who learned this move, most of them are like slime or balloons. Those can be compressed or deflated, so it makes sense. But then, acupressure. The user applies pressure only to certain stress points, sharply boosting one of its or its allies' stats.
We know!
It's the ancient technique of unlocking chi or chakra energy from within. It also releases tension. This today is mainly used for relaxation.
We know!
But it was used as a meditation assistant back in the day, and after spending the time to take care of yourself like that, yeah, you feel refreshed, so you get a stat boost. But
We know!
considering that it is so related to chi and chakras and meditation, I'd want to make it fighting type. It's that fighting energy and all. Hadokens, aura spheres. I could even see psychic. There's an argument for that too. But I guess normal works because it fits both of those types, and also it's just a fancy massage. Well, how about all of the other fighting normal-esque moves? Punches and kicks and such. Well, we went over most of them in part 1, as they do make sense as normal. The fighting type is sort of an upgraded, more skillful normal type. The target is attacked by a kick, launched with muscle-packed power.
We know!
Basically, every Pokemon with legs can learn this move, except Dusknoir, who doesn't have legs, but he can still learn it. God, I love Game Freak. And Mega Punch is the same, but a fist.
We know!
So, the arguments. It specifies muscle-packed power, which could just mean raw strength, like a bear just roundhouse kicked you, but also packed muscles, like muscles that are trained through vigilance and discipline. Shouldn't it be fighting then? Well, maybe. They made Karate Chop fighting type later on. Originally, it too was normal type. Why did it change? They realized it was a trained move, a Karate Chop. Whereas most things know how to punch and kick, anyone can do it. And if they happen to have a lot of muscles, then it could be described as Mega. So yeah, it's fittingly normal enough. But then there's Dizzy Punch. The target is hit with rhythmically launched punches. This may also leave the target confused.
We know!
Rope-a-dope, fancy feet, name it what you want, but quick blows and fast movement can confuse even the most seasoned of fighting professionals. And then add in Pokemon powers and speed, and oh boy, that's a recipe for confusing punches. Funnily enough, it's named Chirp Chirp Punch in Japanese, being based on the birds circling around confused Pokemon, which is exactly what it inflicts. But being skilled enough to punch with a perfect rhythm, and enough to make your opponent punch drunk, takes just that, skill. So, arguably fighting type. With Shell Smash, the user breaks its own shell, which lowers defense and special defense, but sharply raises attack, special attack, and speed.
We know!
Seems kinda like a terrible idea. I mean, if evolution gave you a shell, why would you toss it aside to get a wee bit stronger offensively? Why not just use your defense? Evolution is obviously telling you, you're bad at fighting, you should defend. But either way, the move is normal because not only water things have shells. A shell, realistically, could be anything hard covering your body, though typically a shell is actually a part of the body, not armor, which can be shed or thrown off. But it's a game, so whatever. It's still a self-destructive behavior, just like the move self-destruct. Okay, so like, I thought self-destruct was explosion, but a different type, or whatever. But no, here's its description. The user attacks everything around it by causing an explosion. The user faints upon using this move.
Ah, boy, here we go.
We know!
Well, that's just explosion. What the heck? I figured maybe one of them is normal type and the other one is fire, since, you know, it shows a big fiery explosion. What the fuck? And if the opponent has the ability damp, it doesn't work. So that sounds like it means it's preventing a fuse being lit, or preventing a fire rapidly spreading. So this move should probably be fire type. Yeah, in my opinion, one of these should be fire type. But no, both are normal. Self-destruct is just a weaker version. And another normal move that has an argument for fire type is Smoke Screen. The user releases an obscuring cloud of smoke or ink. This lowers the target's accuracy.
We know!
Ah, see? The or ink. That's why the move is normal type. Normally, a cloud of smoke is caused by things burning, so you know, the insides of fire type Pokemon. Hence, mostly fire types knowing this move. But I suppose making it also work as ink means it has to be normal. It can't be fire and water, now can it? They cancel each other out, making it normal. But smoke! You breathe it in sometimes, and it's terrible. Terrible for your lungs. And you know what else is for breathing? Smelling salts. This attack's power is doubled when used on a target with paralysis. This also cures the target's paralysis, however.
We know!
So it's only really usable at full throttle once per paralysis. The name is based on smelling salt therapy. Smelling salts release ammonia gas, which triggers an inhalation reflex that causes the muscles that control breathing to work faster by irritating the nose and lungs' mucous membranes, allowing for better oxygenation of the blood, essentially giving your lungs a wake-up slap. I guess that's why the move's animation is a huge slap, like smacking someone awake from a coma. Oh, what a nice morning sun. That's a Pokemon move. So they changed Moonlight to Fairy type, but kept Morning Sun normal? The sun is made of fire! Or molten metally plasma, to be more specific. What the heck? Well, the user restores its own HP. The amount of HP regained varies with the weather.
We We know!
Oh good, so it's actually a plant move. Great, this move is a train wreck. Then again, basking is a really common thing that several animals do, so I don't disagree that the morning sun can energize things. It's common, so that means normal. I guess my original assumption was just wrong. Weird. Another healing move, Recover, is described as restoring its own cells. The user restores its own HP by half of its max HP.
We know!
So it's like normal healing. How impressive. It's basically just healing magic, so I could see it as fairy type, but healing itself is such a normal process that almost everything does it, so it really is quite normal. However, looking at the Pokemon who naturally learn this move, especially in the early generations, you can see that it is actually quite special. Other than the crazy psychics like Alakazam and Mewtwo, the other Mon that learned this are like Wooper, Starmie, and Corsola, all based on things that can lose entire chunks of their body and still recover. So it's that kind of recovery. Wolverine tier regeneration. So there's arguments for water or psychic type here too, but normal works. Pain Split is odd though. The user adds its HP to the target's HP, then equally shares the combined HP with the target.
We know!
Wow, that's not normal. Like, how is this a common thing that happens? Sharing your life energy and then dividing it? What? How do you even do that? It seems extremely supernatural. Well fitting of the ghost type. In fact, it used to be the signature move of Misdreavus, so it was a ghost thing. What the heck? I really can't see a reason, even though it's perfectly normal to see. That's why Leer is normal type. With Leer, the user gives opposing Pokemon an intimidating leer that lowers the defense stat.
What was your first clue?
Now, this is the move I thought Glare was. In Japanese, this move is called Glare. It's complicated. We did a whole video on it even. But yeah, what you see is what you get. A mean look. But not as mean as the look given with the move Mean Look. Grrr, I mean look at me. The user pins the target with a dark, arresting look. The target becomes unable to flee.
You are made of stupid.
We know!
I mean, the description even has the word dark in it, and the move is called Mean Look. Being mean is literally what the dark type is all about. Lame. Makes me bash my head into a wall, like the move Skull Bash. The user tucks its head in to raise its defense stat on the first turn, then rams the target on the next turn.
We know!
I mean, everything with a skull should technically be able to skull bash, but I think it's more of a withdraw technique rather than just ramming your skull into the enemy, because raising defense before the attack seems like a putting your head in your shell and then ram kind of maneuver. But it's still normal type, I guess, because it's just a headbutt. But then again, headbutt is also a move. The user sticks its head out and attacks by charging straight into the target. This may also make the target flinch.
We know!
Why does it make you flinch? Well, you see it in movies. A dude headbutts a guy in the head and then he's stunned for a bit. But now, being able to headbutt someone in the head and not be stunned yourself, that takes training. So again, another argument for it not being normal type, but fighting. But also, pretty much any Pokemon with a head can learn this. Almost. Not Sawsbuck, antlers get in the way. But then there's Head Charge, the signature move of Bouffalant. The user charges its head into its target using its powerful guard hair. This also damages the user a little.
Ah, boy, here we go.
We know!
It's just takedown, but way stronger, because it can attack much harder, because of its protective hair. Ramming your head into anything will hurt, unless you're doing a skilled headbutt, but I mean, that's where your brain is, and brain damage is pretty bad.
A room full of everyone who asked!
That's why lots of Mon and animals have horns. It keeps the danger a bit further away from the brain. And that's Horn Attack. The target is jabbed with a sharply pointed horn to inflict damage.
His name was Shit Sherlock. First name no.
I will stab you. Congratulations, you were stabbed. The move really is that simple. Then Horn Drill has the user stab the target with a horn that rotates like a drill. The target faints instantly if the attack hits.
We know!
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Ah, boy, here we go. No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
A risky move, but if you believe in the you that believes in yourself, that believes in your Pokemon's drill will pierce the heavens and insta-kill your enemies, then it will only happen. Basically, because you just gored a huge hole in your opponent. Ugh, how gruesome.
Nobody cares!
You are made of stupid.
Unique for everyone, and given that horns belong to so many different types of Pokemon, normal is fitting of these moves. But gosh, a horn drill! It must be spinning rapidly, like the move Rapid Spin, a spin attack that can also eliminate moves such as Bind, Wrap, Leech Seed, and Spikes.
We know! We know! We know!
Spin rapidly, like a Beyblade. Let it rip. All that spinning makes it difficult to be binded, or have things stuck around you, so they leave. Quick Attack is also rapid, and it is the slowest fast move in the game. The user lunges at the target at a speed that makes it almost invisible. This move always goes first.
We know!
That last sentence was a huge lie. It's only priority +1. There are 5 tiers of priority, in the positive range, and it's only 1 above normal. Still though, this move is just a fast tackle, so normal. Just like Thrash. Very normal. The user rampages and attacks for 2 to 3 turns. The user then becomes confused.
We know!
It's just swinging wildly and getting very angry. It's flail, but with emotion. Very normal. Everybody has emotions. Doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And also, learn to manipulate others' emotions if you're dark type. The move Swagger probably should be dark type. The user enrages and confuses the target. However, this also sharply raises the target's attack stat.
We know!
I mean, I know when someone says the word swag, I for sure get confused and enraged. But swagger's real meaning is to walk or behave in a very confident and typically arrogant or aggressive way, thus aggravating the opponents. It's really quite manipulative. Mean, dark. So I guess keeping your emotions in check a bit is fine. Maybe suppress your rage a bit. The move Rage is described like this. As long as the move is in use, the power of Rage raises the attack stat each time the user is hit in battle.
We know! We know! We know!
I mean, if you're in a fight and getting hit, you get mad. Like, ow, grr, rage. And then you retaliate. Like with the move, Retaliate. The user gets revenge for a fainted ally. If an ally fainted in the previous turn, this move's power is increased.
You are made of stupid.
It's the classic, the sidekick or love interest has just died. Now, I, the hero, am angry, and that makes me stronger! And maybe they have to stand there and take a few hits to gain more anger power. Like the move Bide, the user endures attacks for 2 turns, then strikes back to cause double the damage taken.
We know!
Revenge is a dish best served 2 turns later, biding your time, waiting for an opening, all while getting mad because you're getting hit, and then BAM! The most damage possible in one fell swoop. Realistically, that strategy is kind of a last resort, like the move Last Resort, a powerful move that only works if the user has no other PP left.
We know!
And that is fun to say.
Ah, boy, here we go.
What the fuck?
Fun, like the fact that the move's name in Japanese is the best, because you saved the best for last. Oh man, it's a strong move. It's like a tackle, but with star-shaped particle effects. And it, like the last few moves, are generic in nature, so they have to be normal. I mean, what is the Pokemon using Bide or the best striking with? A fin? A tentacle? A tail? A claw? Their head? Who knows? So it's normal type. And that's the same logic that explains a load of other moves. They're generic natures, but some in a sort of different type-based way. Take Hidden Power, for example, a
Ah, boy, here we go.
unique attack that varies in type depending on the Pokemon using it.
We know!
Honestly, it's probably one of the most unnormal moves. I mean, first off, mechanically it's wacky, and secondly, it isn't even technically a normal move, because it changes its type depending on the Pokemon using it. And it's sorta weird. What type the move becomes is based on the IVs of the individual Pokemon. So really, Hidden Power is just normal type categorically, because it is every type. Just like Judgment.
Ah, boy, here we go. No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The signature move of Arceus, the Pokemon world's creator deity. You know, Normal. Arceus releases countless shots of light at the target. This move's type varies depending on the kind of plate the user is holding.
We know!
In lore, as opposed to gameplay, Arceus is all types at once, sort of based on which of its plates it happens to have equipped at the time. But in-game, that's difficult to calculate, but I have done it before. Did a whole video about that here. Woohoo. But for the sake of game mechanics and gameplay and just making it simple, Arceus is just one type based on the plate you give it, and the move Judgment becomes that type too. So by default, it's normal, but really it's all of them. Multi-attack is the same idea, but it's the signature move of Silvally. Cloaking itself in high energy, the user slams into the target. The memory held determines the move's type.
We know!
Remember, Silvally was the Aether Foundation's attempt at creating an artificial Arceus. So, its signature move needs to have the same properties, you know? Being any type based on the held item. It's similar to Techno Blast. The user fires a beam of light at its target. The move's type changes depending on the drive the user holds.
We know!
It's just the same thing as Judgment, but it's science-based instead of religion, since Genesect is a man-made Pokemon and all. So really, it's the same as Silvally's. It just shoots a beam of infinity energy, but put through a filter. With Natural Gift, the user draws power to attack by using its held berry. The berry determines the move's type and power.
We know!
By the power of my berry, I encase you in ice.
Because that makes sense. It's the same kind of deal with nature power. This attack makes use of nature's power. Wow, its effects vary based on the user's environment.
We know!
It's basically pulling energy or copying the energy from the local area. Same with Terrain Pulse. The user utilizes the power of the terrain to attack. This move's type and power changes depending on the terrain when it's used.
We know!
And Weather Ball. This attack varies in power and type depending on the weather.
We know!
Oh, weather is a type of nature, so it's the same jazz! Then, while only 4 types, Revelation Dance has the user attack the target by dancing very hard. The user's type determines the type of this move.
We know!
Do you think if Oricorio flossed, it'd be a one-hit KO move? Well, the move is normal just because it can actually be any one of 4 types. So, there you go. Metronome fits here too. The user waggles a finger and stimulates its brain into randomly using nearly any move.
We know!
It's like swiping through invisible Tinder profiles, but moves. And then it just stops on a random one. It's a lot of fun, and clearly magic. And again, it's normal because basically it's every move, which means it's basically every type. Because, I mean, what else would it be? And the same goes for Mimic and Copycat. With Mimic, the user copies the target's last move, and then they can use it all they want until they leave the battle.
We know!
Whereas Copycat has the user mimic the move used immediately before it.
We know!
So it's more of a one-time thing. And on the extreme opposite end, there's Sketch. It too is normal out of necessity, or technicality. Smeargle uses Sketch, and then permanently learns the last move used by its target.
We know!
Yes? But speaking of big and powerful normal moves, Max Strike is the generic normal type Dynamax move.
We know!
It's pretty self-explanatory, like you are big and you strike big. Wow. At least there's also Max Guard.
We know!
Well, it's also lame. You are big and you are defending yourself because you are big. How intense. Well, at least it segues into the other defense moves. Protect enables the user to evade all attacks. Its chance of failing rises if it's used in succession.
We know!
Now, that description makes it more of a dodge than a protect, but whatever. I suppose the best defense is not getting hit at all, However, technically, if you have the best evasion, you're protected, so yeah, there's that. Then with Safeguard, the user creates a protective field that prevents status conditions for 5 turns.
We know!
Pretty simple, just like Protect, except this one aims at defending against conditions, and it has a sort of magical side to it. Honestly, I could see an argument being made for it being fairy or psychic type, what with magic protection circles and magic crystals and meditation and stuff, all protecting you from status conditions like measles, bleh. Then with Block, the user blocks the target's way with arms spread wide to prevent escape.
Ah, boy, here we go.
We know!
I mean, holding your arms out and stopping someone from running away is pretty easy. Though I guess really, what they're doing is blocking the opposing trainer from returning their Pokemon to the ball, blocking the line of sight that the red laser needs. Which is rude and cheaty! Why isn't this move Dark type? No really, this is what the Dark type is all about. What gives? Same with Scary Face. The user frightens the target with a scary face to harshly lower its speed stat.
We know!
I mean, making a face so scary you basically spooked your opponent enough to lock up and move slower, that's mean! This move is just mean look, but different. Disable is pretty dark too. For 4 turns, this move prevents the target from using the move it used last.
You are made of stupid.
We know!
It's like, hey, I'm just gonna wipe your memory, you can't use this move anymore. Which really sounds more like a psychic type thing, if anything. Though it can also be a, hey, I'm gonna smash your knee in so that you can't use that kick attack anymore. Which is pretty dark. Or, hey, you're all wet now, so you can't use that fire attack. I guess there's all sorts of ways to stop an opponent from being able to do a thing. So I guess that's why the move's normal type, again, its generic nature. Which I assume is also the case for Refresh. The user rests to cure itself of poisoning, a burn, or paralysis.
We know!
Taking a breather, or using magic, or psychic healing, or plant immunology, or gaining fighting spirit enough to power through stats. These are all ways of doing the whole refresh thing, so yeah, generic. Normal. Psych Up has plenty of arguments against it being normal type though. The user hypnotizes itself into copying any stat change made by the target.
We know!
That just sounds psychic, right? But I suppose Psych Up is also a thing fighters do before entering the ring. You get pumped, you plan your moves, and in this case you adjust your plan to keep up with your opponent's buffs by doing the same thing. You see that your opponent is speeding up? Oof, better do the same thing. Psych Up! And since it is sort of just a battle strategy, I guess normal type works. Unlike Court Change, with its mysterious power, the user swaps the effects on either side of the field.
We know!
The mysterious power. Get that out of here. Give me the deets. This vague description makes it sound supernatural, so like ghost or psychic type. Like when you enter a room and then you turn around and the door is gone. Where even are you? How did you not notice the things moving around the battlefield? What's going on? How did you get to the other side? Though I guess any Pokemon could take the time to just pick up the stealth rocks around it and toss them to the other side of the arena, which I guess is why it's normal. But speaking of rocks, rock climb. Whoa, you climb rocks? Wait, no, that's not right. How would this be a normal move? Shouldn't it be rock? Or something good against rock? The user attacks the target by smashing into it with incredible force.
We know!
This may also confuse the target. Oh, so there's no rocks involved at all. Great. It's just another big tackle. You can just use it out of battle to climb rocks also. Well, another move that causes confusion is Teeter Dance. The user performs a wobbly dance that confuses the Pokemon around it.
We know!
It's also known as Dizzy Dance. I'm sure you've seen things in your life that you've watched and felt dizzy afterwards even though you were standing still, right? And that's because your brain relies on not only your inner ear for balance, but your vision as well. That's why motion sickness is common. Your inner ear isn't matching up with your vision, so you get nauseous, and sometimes your empathy kicks in. You see someone else being dizzy and nauseous, maybe you'll feel that way too. Seeing this dance just mixes your brain up, getting you confused. And dancing is pretty generic, so normal works. But what does dancing tend to go to? Music. What is music? Sound. What is the most commonly thought of new Pokemon type among fans? The sound type. Right. This next set of moves are normal type moves that would likely become sound type if the sound type were to ever be added. It's the same thing that happened with a lot of normal moves when Fairy was introduced. And we start with Boom Burst. The user attacks everything around it with the destructive power of a terrible explosive sound.
We know!
Pretty self-explanatory. Sound can hurt. Like, you ever stand next to a train horn or a fire alarm when it goes off? Now you're in pain. Sound also travels in all directions. So really, this is the most basic loud sound move. It's creating a sound shockwave. Ouch. Sonic Boom. It's Guile, but a Pokemon.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No shit.
Why do you do this?
Because you're an idiot! A moron! A dingleberry!
You're so stupid! 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 Stupid!
You are made of stupid.
Oh, and let's not forget, you're so stupid! Ow!
Sonic Boom!
This one's name makes it seem sound-based, like real sonic booms happening because something just broke the sound barrier. But the move in-game isn't so much that. The target is hit with a destructive shockwave that always inflicts 20 damage. Clearly it's a meta move, always 20 damage. Odd. But in-game it just looks like sending a shockwave of air towards the opponent, or a stream of wind. But at least the manga shows it as a bit more of a sound-based kind of move. Maybe. But I guess since Pokemon with the soundproof ability are immune to it, it really is a sound move. With hyper voice, the user lets loose a horribly echoing shout with the power to inflict damage. We know! Yeah, it's loud. It hurts. Oh, you hear that? It sounds like it's time for an ad break.
They're laughing themselves to death!
You serious?
No!
You are such an idiot.
What were you thinking?
It's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
You suck!
Uproar! The user attacks in an uproar for 3 turns. During that time, no Pokemon can fall asleep. Yeah, it's loud, it hurts, and it just keeps going. Hard to fall asleep when things are loud. It would be much better if the sound was pleasant and lulling, like with the move Sing. A soothing lullaby is sung in a calming voice that puts the target into a deep slumber. They do say the savage beast can be soothed by music, and singing is music without the other parts of the music. So there you go. And then, Relic Song is sort of an upgrade to it. The user sings an ancient song and attacks by appealing to the hearts of the listening opposing Pokemon. This may also induce sleep. It's the signature move of Meloetta, the singing sound Pokemon that is the poster child for the sound type movement. Music is very strong. Strong enough to kill or make faint, like with Perish Song. Any Pokemon that hears this song faints in 3 turns unless it switches out of battle. Pretty cool, honestly. A cursed song that makes everything faint in 3 turns. Now, where have I seen this before? Oh, when you watch this VHS tape, you will die in 7 days! Horror movie tropes and curses and things like that. They commonly take multiple days for the effect to finally take place. But thinking about it now, sure it's a song, but shouldn't it be ghost type? That's like the creepiest thing, and it's clearly supernatural in danger. Like, oh, you hear the song, now there's ghosts coming for your soul. They'll take a while to get here though. It's very supernatural, and being supernatural literally means it's not normal. What the heck? But fun fact, it could be based on one of the saddest songs, Gloomy Sunday. It was so sad, and it's killed multiple times. It was actually banned in Europe for 66 years due to its reputation. Music has such a powerful hold on our lives, and we never seem to actually notice. Round is another sing-songy move. The user attacks the target with a song. Others can join in the round to increase the power of the attack. It's like a round of a song, not a round of drinks. Round is a technical term for a type of canon in which 2 voices sing harmoniously Therefore, when there are two users using round, it reaches its full potential and it's stronger. It's sort of the thing you would expect in a cathedral, much like echoed voice. The user attacks the target with enough with the echo effect. Thank you. The user attacks the target with an echoing voice. If this move is used every turn, its power is increased. Screaming is legal for normal creatures, and if you scream into the void enough, it will scream back. Keep it up long enough, and now there's just a lot of screaming, echoing around. If a loud sound hurts, then a loud sound continuously echoing and starting up again hurts even more. But it doesn't always hurt. Look at Screech. An ear-splitting screech harshly lowers the target's defense stat. Why would screeching lower defense? Well, one, if it's unexpected, it will for sure catch you off guard, thus interrupting your rhythm and making you unsure of the opponent's next move, making your defense not as confident. And two, high screeches and sounds can break glass. I'm sure some Pokemon defenses don't appreciate that either. Supersonic. The user generates odd sound waves from its body that confuse the target. You know, the annoying move that Zubat uses all the time. One supersonic and bam! You hit yourself to death. Sound plays a big part in how we, and creatures especially, understand our balance and our surroundings. So if that gets messed up by a huge ringing in our ears, we for sure can become confused. And what's a way to cure that? Why, a heal bell! The user makes a soothing bell chime to heal the status conditions of all the party Pokemon. I love the Pokemon that can learn this move because they all make sense. Chimecho is literally a chime, Skitty is a kitty with cat toy parts, and cute little kitties often get bell collars. Miltank is a cow, which often wear cowbells, and Celebi is a shrine spirit. These shrines often feature bells as their main thing, and that's because some believe bells have healing properties. This was popularized by Feng Shui. Chimes are ways of redirecting energy. However, it is also based a little in science. Now, these chimes and bells aren't healing physical damage. No, they are getting rid of status conditions like confusion. Snapping Pokemon out of it with loud sounds makes sense. Sleep? Well, loud sounds. There you go. Paralysis, poison, burn, and frozen, though, are a little harder. That's where the redirecting negative energy comes in. It's spiritual, but not creepy, mean, ghost spiritual, so it's not ghost type. But I do see an argument for fairy here. Sound, or normal, still works though. And sound/normal also works for belly drum. The user maximizes its attack stat in exchange for HP equal to half of its max HP. It's some extreme ham-boning. War dances and war music are things. It gets you pumped and amped, and adrenaline gets you up there too. Smack yourself in the gut and beat it so hard it gets your adrenaline pumping and it makes you all angry and scary look and makes your attack higher. It also can make you look more intimidating, like a gorilla or a sumo wrestler. Grrr! And speaking of scary things, it's Roar. Haha, XD. With Roar, the target is scared off and a different Pokemon is dragged out. In the wild, this ends the battle. I mean, big mean predator does itself a roar. All the little prey is gonna get scared and run for their lives. Pretty normal. Then the other roar move is Noble Roar. Letting out a Noble Roar, the user intimidates the target and lowers its special attack and attack stats. Roars are scary and off-putting. This thing that you're up against is able to make that powerful sound. You may feel feeble about it afterwards or get nervous, so your muscles and your focus sorta give out, lowering the attack stats. Then Howl is sort of the opposite. The user howls loudly to raise its spirit, which raises its attack stat. I mean, we all understand this move exists, but why does it work? Wolves howl typically to communicate with each other, but it's also used to show affection to each other and the pack. Yet, before an attack, they aren't super talkative, so a howl raising attack would have to be much before the fight, perhaps helping with the coordination of the pack. In a way, increasing the attack power of the pack. But I guess such a thing is unrealistic in a turn-based random encounter game, so I'll let it slide. But speaking of packs and friendship, it's time for the move Assist. The user hurriedly and randomly uses a move among those known by ally Pokemon. This move is basically, whoops, I don't know how, but I'd love to help. Sometimes it doesn't make much sense though, like, oh yes, I just breathed fire to help you out with my own fire that, came out of my, helping organ. Normal type anatomy is anything but normal, trust me. Helping Hand, the fastest move in the game. No, seriously. Quick attack, extreme speed, sonic boom, double team. Nope, it's Helping Hand, +5 priority. With it, the user assists an ally by boosting the power of that ally's attack. Really, helping a teammate isn't special. It should be expected, normal, a common occurrence. All those things. It's basic decency. It's nice. Just like holding hands. With the move Hold Hands, the user and an ally hold hands. This makes them very happy. I wish I was kidding. This move doesn't actually do anything in battle, like literally nothing. It's basically a taunt. If you power it up as a Z move, it will just raise all of your stats by 1, but that's sort of the generic thing that a lot of moves do. But otherwise, it's nothing. It's just like, cute. What Pokemon can even learn this? Oh, they're all event Pokemon. That makes sense. And it's Pikachu, of course. Charizard. Alright, that's a little weird, but I guess. And Vivillon. Vivillon doesn't even have hands you can hold! After You is also a nice move. The user helps the target and makes it use its move right after the user. Yeah, it's just, hey, I know I'm faster, but you attack first this turn. It seems odd, but it can be useful in 2v2 battles. It messes with priority moves and all that. I'm sure that disrupts some strategies. And it's the opposite of Me First, where the user cuts ahead of the target to copy and use the target's intended move with greater power. This move fails if it isn't used first. Well, that just sounds dark. Cutting in line? Or mind reading and stealing what the other mon's gonna do? How do you even do that? It's like mimicking someone, but the opposite. What the heck? That should be dark or psychic. But whatever. Normal works because it's reflecting the move that it copies first. Well, back to Niceties. Bestow sounds nice. The user passes its held item to the target when the target isn't holding an item. Giving gifts is normal, okay? Like, how many times are we going to have to just sit down and understand that Pokemon is all about friendship? So much so that there's another gift-giving move, Present the Move. The user attacks by giving the target a gift with a hidden trap. It restores HP sometimes, however. Well, I guess if the gift is an explosion, it's not so nice. But hey, signature move of Delibird, the Santa Claus Pokemon. Nice. How does it have so many boxes and ribbons in its tail sack, though? Well, Play Nice is nice, in theory. Interestingly, the move Play Rough is Fairy type, and Play Nice is normal. At first glance, I'd think Play Rough would be fighting or normal, and Play Nice would be Fairy, but what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber that specializes in Pokemon for some reason. Either way, the move goes as such. The user and its target become friends, and the target loses its will to fight. This lowers the target's attack stat, which sounds pretty reasonable. I wouldn't want to hurt my friends. It, like, turns the fight into a play fight, like what cubs and pups do. They play nice. They hold back a little as to not actually kill each other. But honestly, this just makes it sound like even more of a fairy move. Like, you're playing a fey prank. You're pretending to be friends with your opponent, and then you don't go easier on them in return, and at the end of the battle they find out it was all a lie? Mean. I could see Tickle as fairy type as well. The user tickles the target into laughing, reducing its attack and defense stats. At least it doesn't do damage. In the same vein as many status changing moves, Tickle seems to prey upon changing the mental state of the opponent, making them reduce their guard and regression, putting them in a happier, less aggressive state. And fighting, or playing a fey trick by tickling, seems much more fairy type to me, but whatever. These aren't the only normal type moves that could be fairy instead. There's also Lucky Chant. The user chants an incantation towards the sky, preventing opposing Pokemon from landing critical hits for 5 turns. Anyone can invoke the old gods and gain their favor, if they know the right words to say. But invoking old gods and nature deities sounds fairy-like to me. And Lovely Kiss. With a scary face, the user tries to force a kiss on the target. If it succeeds, the target falls asleep. There are plenty of folk tales about creepy things trying to be all cute and innocent. Hansel and Gretel's Witch, for instance. Trickery like this is very fey-like, but I get it. The Japanese name of the move is Demon's Kiss. And in Gen 2, the animation shows a little demon descending and kissing the target. Some people claim that sleep paralysis is caused by demons or ghosts, so Lovely Kiss could be that, dark or ghost type. Here's the move Sweet Scent. It causes a sweet scent to fill the air. Wow! And it harshly lowers opposing Pokemon's evasiveness. Ah, the alluring smell of sweetness. Think of the classic cartoon characters lusting after a cooling pie on a windowsill. Ah, so calmed and slowed by the smell, so you're an easier target now. So why isn't this move grass type? I mean, look, here's a list of all of the Pokemon who learn it naturally. They are almost all grass. It's the sweet smell of flowers, after all. Heck, when the move was first made, every Pokemon that knew it was grass type. I mean, I guess things other than plants can smell sweet. Sometimes I smell sweet because my pancreas doesn't work, so I guess normal is fine. Well, last I checked, I wasn't a plant, but grass still makes more sense in the context of Pokemon to me. Another could-be grass-type, normal-type move is Growth. The user's body grows all at once, raising the attack and special attack stats. It's like visiting grandma during the holidays. Growth happens all at once. Some plants and animals do grow rapidly at times, and with this move, it's doing so magically. But I mean, the power of God and anime are in every single Pokemon, so I guess doing so magically could be considered a very normal thing. But like, again, look at the list of Pokemon who learn this move naturally. So many of them are grass type, as in literally all of them are grass type. Oh, besides Comfey. There we go. I guess the move has to be normal now. But speaking of normal type Pokemon moves, oh gosh, is that the segue? Is there nothing better? Oh, how about this? With Spotlight, the user shines a spotlight on the target so that only that target will be attacked during the turn. Targeting someone is pretty easy when they're the only one lit up. It's why the police do it. Also, any Pokemon that can generate light can do this, and there are so many different types of Pokemon that can do that. I mean, it's just a simple beam of light. But it's not the move, Simple Beam, where the user's mysterious psychic wave changes the target's ability to simple. Okay. So we all agree it says psychic in the move's description, right? Like, we can see it right there. You can't claim it's fake news while I'm looking at it. Lord knows they'll try, but yeah, it's normal type. Why? Oh, 'cause it's simple. Yeah, heh. Normal is simplicity. Non-conforming abilities need to be cleansed. Haha. This move should be psychic type. Now here's the description for the move Trump Card. The fewer PP this move has, the greater its power. Fewer PP. A trump card is referring to an ace in the hole, the final say, the one to beat all. It's normally used at the end of a conflict to create a surprise upset or sudden victory. Oddly enough, in Pokemon they are throwing actual cards, like to cause paper cuts? Odd, but I guess paper is normal type, unless it's grass? Well, speaking of small PP, with Flash, the user flashes a bright light that cuts the target's accuracy. It can also be used to illuminate dark caves. As to why it's normal type, well, same as Spotlight, loads of Pokemon of different types can do light magic stuff. And what rhymes with Flash? Splash! I did this move in the water type video because the name, like, really should be water type, but hey, in Japanese it's called hop, so really it's just hopping in place. Why translate that to splash at all? They like completely transformed the meaning, like what Ditto does with the move Transform. Ditto turns into a copy of the target right down to the same moveset. I mean, what other type would this be besides normal? Same with VV Volley. The Mo Eevee loves its Twaina, the Gueda the move's power. It never misses. Is this even a move? Yeah, sure, it's Eevee doing a volley of Eevee stuff. Eevee is like the normalest normal to ever normal, just doing its normal thing. Wow, what a move. Just like extreme speed.
It's an attack that increases a Pokemon's speed.
Also, this move is a straight up lie. Listen here. The user charges the target at blinding speed. This move always goes first. Wrong! It's only priority +2, so it's not entirely true. But then again, this happens with Game Freak's dex entries a lot. They often don't think before they write them out. But yeah, there's a load of moves that go first before it. Oh, and as for the typing, speed isn't inherently a type, so normal type it is. I mean, anyone can be swift, but the move Swift shoots star-shaped rays at the opposing Pokemon, and it never misses. I really don't know how, honestly. Known as Speed Stars in Japanese only helps a little. Like, in what world does Swift mean shoot stars at someone? Is throwing small stars a thing? Oh, throwing stars. But these aren't steel throwing stars, they are enemy tracking glowing stars. So I guess just whatever sort of infinity energy Hyper Beam is made out of has been compressed into a star form, and since stars are kind of shaped like airplanes, they can fly around and never miss. Huh. Well, you wish upon a star, don't you? And that's the move Wish. One turn after this move is used, the user or its replacement's HP is restored by half of the user's max HP. All you're really doing here is wishing for healing. Whatever is granting that wish is what's doing the power, so it's normal for the user, because it's normal to make wishes. And since we're on the topic of HP, with Substitute, the user makes a copy of itself using some of its HP. The copy serves as the user's decoy. Interestingly, it's not a dark type move. I mean, I'd call using a decoy cheating, which fits that type the most, not boring old normal. And how do you make a doll out of something as abstract as HP? Fairy or voodoo ghost magic, clearly. Oh well. But if the Substitute user doesn't want to fight whatever it's up against, then it could have just used Whirlwind, because the target is blown away and a different Pokemon is dragged out. In the wild, this ends the battle against a single Pokemon. It's just Roar, but Wind. Flying type is a pseudo-air type, so why isn't this move Flying type? Plenty of non-flyers learn Flying type moves. Same deal with Razor Wind. In this 2-turn attack, Blades of Wind hit opposing Pokemon on the second turn. Critical hits land more easily. Yeah, literally sharp wind. So what's the deal here? here? Well, again, it has to do with the Japanese name of the move. The Japanese name still translates into Razor Wind, but it also happens to be the name of a yokai, Kamaitachi. It's a weasel that has really sharp claws. It's what Sneasel is based on. This yokai goes around riding the wind, and when it does so, it spends its time cutting whatever gets in the way. I'm guessing it was the explanation for wind burns or wind cuts, common things in windy areas, but it's still not a normal thing for a weasel to fly. Why, Japan? Why are you like this? Well, we're nearly done now. So I'll tell you a secret. The move Secret Power is where the user attacks the target with a secret power. Whoa. It hits the same always, but the secondary effects are changed based on the location. Interestingly enough, even Ultra Space affects this move. How weird. Just like the move Reflect Type, which only complicates what being a type even means, the user reflects the target's type, making it the same type as the target. It's the same thing as the move Conversion, only it's less digital, so it has no real explanation. Though, looking at the only 5 Pokemon that learn it naturally, they are all either super magic-y or are sea creatures known for being able to reflect their surroundings well. So there you go. And now, with all of those moves out of the way, let's celebrate! With the move Celebrate, the Pokemon congratulates you on your special day. Oh my god, is it just hold hands again? Oh geez, it is. And look at that, Pikachu, Kanto starters, and the Eevees, of course. Well, Magikarp, Ho-Oh, and Rayquaza too. That's a bit odd, but the Mon just pops up and congratulates the player's name. And I guess it's normal to celebrate, as in waste a turn. But that's all of them. That's all the normal moves. We're done. We are all out. It's just all out of PP. There's no more PP, which means now all we can do is struggle. The move Struggle is probably the most normal type move in existence. Every Pokemon in the entire game knows this move always. Not one Pokemon doesn't know how to struggle. This sounds like a really crummy analogy for the 21st century so far. This attack is used in desperation only if the user has no PP. It also damages the user a little.
We know!
I'd have to say that this move is more normal than Tackle. It's nature. It's instincts. Yes, it hurts the user, but so does most struggling. They are just lashing out, doing whatever they can to survive, whatever they can to win. They're struggling, running out of HP, as one can only struggle for so long. And what a depressing note to end on. Well, like with a Pokemon Center, things will always get better. Like your grammar if you use today's sponsor, Grammarly. Seriously, this helps us out a lot. So again, check it out with the link down below. So hang in there. Maybe watch my other videos to put your mind at ease. And until next time, never stop using your noggin.